Well, hey guys, it's Viejo here, and we are right at the end of May in 2025. Got kind of a nice day here on the central coast of California. It's a little breezy and cloudy. What do I got here in the garage today? I got 70 degrees in the garage at 63% humidity, so, you know, reasonably nice day. Hey, this is part 5 and kind of the tie-up of the 45 Schofield project that we've had going on. If you recall, our friend and subscriber Tom Drave sent me a whole bunch of 45 Schofield brass that he couldn't use, and so we took that and took off on a project. And I've got a link to the playlist that'll have all 4 of these other parts in it as well. There was an introduction, and we did some loading and so forth and casting for the project. And I'd cast up 3 different bullets, all 230 grain, because we were kind of looking to see if we could duplicate the 45 ACP round as far as velocity and bullet size. 230 grain bullet going somewhere around 830 to 850 feet per second, and we got that. And today we're just going to go out and do some shooting. And before we go any further, I want you to be advised that all of the firearms you're going to see here are all unloaded and have been safety inspected, and they're safe to handle. This one here is this Barra BB gun. Okay, that was the 45 Schofield BB gun. Okay, I don't want to eject the cartridges out of those, or BB cartridges. And we worked on that load, and I used the Ruger Blackhawk in 45 Colt to do the load development with. Nice long barrel, heavy duty 45 Colt caliber revolver. I like that gun. It's a fun one to go shoot. And we were working with some red dot powder. You can kind of go back and look at part 4 and see the load development and so forth. It's all in there. And we settled on 5.1 grains of red dot powder, which ran out of that Blackhawk right in the ballpark with all 3 of the bullets that we used. If you remember, we had a bullet from MP, we had one from Seikko, and we had one from RCBS, all in that 230 grain range. So I decided to get out and get them all shot and just kind of do that in a separate video, and that's all we're really going to do today. But obviously I didn't use this revolver for that, and then for this video I didn't use this one either, because in the meantime I picked up another revolver that I'd been looking for a long time and debating about buying. I found one available, and they're expensive, and then this project came along. I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So here's what we used to go out and shoot with, and this is the Cimarron / Uberti copy of the Smith & Wesson Model 3 45 Schofield. Okay, it's actually chambered in 45 Colt also, so you can shoot 45 Colt out of it. The 45 Schofield cylinder would be a little shorter, and it would mean that some differences in the frame and so forth. And so that's that. I mean, it's a Colt cylinder, but the rest of it is pretty much cloned off the original 45 Schofield. Okay, so the release latch is up here just like it is on the original Model 3 Schofield, okay, as opposed to being mounted up higher on the barrel. And this this guy, a little bit of a learning curve for me on that. There's some significant difference. I'd never owned a break top revolver before. It's kind of fun to go mess with. Get a lot of good looks at the range. What the heck is that? And so, you know, some of the things that I'm just learning to deal with. Okay, for one thing, opening it. without dropping your spent cartridges all over the place. Because when you open this, that ejection star, see it come up there? Okay, you want to snap that thing open and get all of those cartridges out, because if you don't, if you come up here slowly, the case will get trapped underneath that star, and now you're in trouble. It's hard to get that sucker out of. You might have to take the whole cylinder off. Okay, if you trap one, they get stuck that hard under there. Ask me how I know. Did you ask? Okay, yeah, I know because I did it. First time I shot it, I got it out okay, but it's tricky. Anyway, the sight picture is a little strange, you know. Our rear sight is the latch, and the front sight's skinny. And so with my tired old eyes, boy, oh boy, the sight picture is kind of rugged. Anyhow, so I kind of, messed with that a little bit, trying to get that part of it figured out. The other thing that is interesting is if you're going to do, a cowboy load, because there's no real, there's no safety bar, there's no transfer bar, anything like that in this style revolver. And so the drill was that you would load 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and leave number 6 open, okay? Close the cylinder, and now when you pull the hammer back, you rotate up to that first round. Well, what would happen is that I wouldn't always cock that hammer back, and the cylinder wouldn't lock up right, and it would misfire, I guess, because it would be off center. The firing pin hit the corner of the primer, and it wouldn't go off, and I go, what in the world? Anyway, so I had to kind of figure that out, and I learned to kind of, okay, make sure that guy's locked up in there. So there were like I said, learning curve. I still only got maybe 120, 130 rounds through this guy, and I haven't got it all figured out yet. I had to get online, and thank goodness for YouTube in some aspects, because trying to get the cylinder out for cleaning, on our other revolvers like the Blackhawk, real easy. You got a base pin, the cylinder pops right back out. Yeah, not so much with this one. Snap back in there. There you go. And I looked, I couldn't figure out how to get that. And I'm thinking, man, do I have to take this thing all apart? And I asked Walks Fletcher, because he had one of these, and I said, how do you get that cylinder out? Do you have to take this all apart? And he says, no, don't do that. And he couldn't quite remember. It'd been so long since he shot it. Anyway, somebody else had a video, and all you do is you loosen up. You've got to remove one screw up here on this back edge of the latch and loosen the first one. And then that latch lifts up out of the way like that, and that thing just comes out of there. It's easy peasy, right? But it took me a while to get that dialed in too, to get it cleaned properly. So anyway, let's quit yakking and let's go to the range and shoot these. I was going to tell you also, interestingly, when I did the chronograph with this gun, whose barrel length, okay, is just about the same, okay, maybe a ½ inch longer. But when I chronoed the rounds, all 3 of them ran about 70 feet per second slower out of this one. So we were actually just under that 830, 850 feet per second mark, which is okay. I didn't really want to load this guy any hotter anyway. I don't think it's anywhere near as strong a gun as that Ruger is. So in the future, I'm going to keep my loads down there around 750. I think that seems to be an appropriate load. All right, let's go to the range and shoot. So first up was this bullet right here. That's the RCBS 45-230 CM. Okay, but I got those loaded up last time, if you recall. So I put a couple rounds through the Model 3 Schofield here for you. So let's take a look at that. Don't get your hopes up. I'm still not shooting this gun very well yet. It's taken some getting used to for me. Grips are different and everything. But anyway, I had fun doing it. So let's take a look. Okay, this is the RCBS bullet. Oops. boy. Okay, 5 more with the RCBS bullet. All right, there's the RCBS bullet. That was kind of my cruddiest job there. I think most of that was me. Okay, next up is this one. That's the Seikko number 954. Okay, another 230 grain bullet. Kind of the same story. I'm not shooting this gun very well yet, but still, we got some on paper for you, so let's go there. Okay, this is the Seikko bullet. Low. Still low. There we go. That's all me dropping those down there, guys. That front sight plate's thin and hard to see. There we go. Well, they kind of grouped, but that's my sight picture, I think, that's doing that. Okay, 5 more with the Seikkos. Right in there. All right, that wasn't bad. And there we go with the Seikko bullet. These down here were mostly that first wheel full, and the rest of them were wanting to group inside there, and not too bad. Okay, and then finally we shot the MP 453-490 bullet, and here's how that one went. All right, this is the MP bullet. Okay, 5 more with the MP bullet. And then here we are with the MP bullet. We had several down here and a bunch grouping up there. Again, probably about the same performance as that Seikko bullet. Again, not bad considering I'm not used to that gun yet, but I'll take it. Okay, and all 3 of those bullets shot at about the same velocity. They're real close, although 70 feet per second or so. Actually a little bit more than that, less than what they shot out of the Black Hawk. These guys were all shooting around 750, which was fine with me. It was a gentle enough load, and again, this revolver is not as strong as that Black Hawk is. So anyway, there it is. I think we'll wrap it up there. I hope you guys all enjoyed that. I certainly had fun with the project, and another big thanks to Tom for kind of kicking the whole thing off with that donation of all that brass right at the beginning. Don't forget to check the playlist down there in the description box. If you haven't seen any of the rest of the videos, there's a total of 5, and it's all there. So let's call this one done and put it to bed for now. I'll be shooting this revolver more, of course, in the future, but from the Viejo bench for now, that's all she wrote.